Hello, everyone. We're going to wait a few more minutes just for everybody to get here. We had quite a few register for this event, which is fantastic. We love to see that. We'll start with the program in just a few minutes. We'll give everybody a few minutes to kind of get in and get settled. Y'all are free to leave your mics off, leave your cameras off, put your cameras on, leave, whatever you prefer. We will kind of go through the agenda and just kind of, some details about the program, and we'll have a section at the end for Q&A. Just so you all know, this program is being recorded because we are going to share it with everybody just in case they couldn't make it this evening. We'll post it online. You all will get a link to the recording as well. And we'll turn off the recording for the Q&A portion. I think I can do that. Usually just because we get specific questions that might not be relevant to the whole group. But we'll probably get started here just like 5:35, maybe a few more minutes. We'll let everybody get in, get settled. But good to see you all. Heather, I can see you on. Are the slides coming through okay? Can you see those? Awesome. Okay, good. Just doing a quick tech check. Thank you all for joining tonight. We're going to wait just a couple more minutes just in case anybody else pops in, and we'll get started right about 5:35. All right, well, just about a minute away, but we'll go ahead and get things rolling. Thank you all very much for joining us this evening. As I mentioned, we are going to be recording this webinar and we'll be sharing it online with everybody. So if you want to watch back to get any information you might have missed, or for those that couldn't join us this evening, if you registered, you'll get an invite to view this webinar recording. But really happy that you all could join us. We're very excited to talk with you tonight about the ConocoPhillips Small Biz Builder Program that's going to be kicking off here in Midland in just a couple of weeks. So let's start off just with the agenda for tonight. So we're going to do some introductions just to get you introduced to the team that we have to put on this program. We'll have Amanda with ConocoPhillips providing an overview of ConocoPhillips, and Then we'll get into a description of the program. We'll talk about the program structure, the application process. I know many of you have probably already applied. We'll go through the eligibility requirements, what you can expect, and the outcomes that we hope to receive at the conclusion of the program. And then we'll leave some time at the end for Q&A. We'll have the recording off for Q&A, so if people want to camera on and turn their mics on and ask some questions at that point, we'll be happy to field those at that time. So if you do have a question, just please hold it until the end and we'll get to it at the end. We'll have plenty of time for questions there at the end. All right, some introductions. So my name is Brian Shedd. I'm the Executive Director for the University of Texas Permian Basin Office of Innovation and Commercialization. It's always a mouthful, but we are an office that serves the entire campus community as well as the external community. So really the kind of whole Permian Basin region. We run a number of small business programs. We also support technology commercialization that's developed through research activity at the university, and also oversee the maker spaces, which, quick plug, if you've never checked out our maker spaces, they are open to the public. We do have community memberships for those. We're in the middle of running our summer maker camp for middle school and high school students at the makerspace that we have in the library. Always a fun time. We're just about to wrap that up for this summer. But it's a really, really nice opportunity to work within the campus and then also throughout the broader region. So I'll turn it over to Stephanie.
Never find the mic button when you need it. Hi, y'all. I'm Stephanie Griffin. I also work with Brian in the Office of Innovation and Commercialization. I solely work with this program. This is my second stint at UTPB. I used to be in student affairs as well. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I have an MBA. I have lived overseas. I've lived in China, Australia, Indonesia, Houston twice, California, DC. I've been around, but Midland is the longest place I've lived as an adult. I've been here 7 years now. I have an operations background, and I kind of have a bit of an entrepreneurial spirit as well. I've owned a franchise, done some consulting, so I kind of can relate to a lot of y'all, especially here in this area where everyone has a job, but also a side hustle, a passion. Even in junior league, I've met girls today. One owns Chicken Salad Chick, and just everyone has a different hat that they wear, and I love that about this community. So I'm happy to work with everyone. I also am the program director, so you'll see me in the program as well, along with Tyler and Brian.
Thanks, Stephanie. And Tyler?
Yeah, I'm Tyler Patton. I'm the director of the Small Business Development Center at UTPB. Looking forward to working with all of you. My background, I've been the director here about 8 years, but before that I was in the media business for 20-something years. We owned mostly print publications, but also some radio and a little bit of TV. So I've got a little bit of a varied background. Finance is my real background, though. Even through the media business, I was not on camera particularly often. I was primarily in the background, crunching numbers. So that's kind of what I do. So again, look forward to working with all of you. That's all.
Thank you, Tyler. And Amanda.
Yeah, thanks y'all for being here tonight. My name is Amanda Day. I lead local government and public affairs for ConocoPhillips on the Texas side of the Permian Basin. I have an undergrad from Texas Tech University, Rackham, and my master's is in education from Tarleton State University. I've been a classroom teacher for over 15 years before my life in the energy sector, and then been in community investment and government affairs space now for about 7 years, previously with Pioneer Natural Resources and with ConocoPhillips for the last 3 years. And just excited to champion this program. We're big cheerleaders of UTPB and the great work they're doing. Full disclosure, we tried to do this on our own without UTPB and it was not successful. And Brian and Stephanie and Tyler have completely transformed this program. And so looking forward to learning right alongside all of you.
Thank you. Well, we'll stay with you for a second here if you want to talk us through a little bit about ConocoPhillips.
So ConocoPhillips is a large oil and gas exploration and production company. We operate in multiple countries around the globe. The Permian Basin is a key asset for us. It's some of our largest production comes out of the Permian Basin, one of the most prolific oil fields in the U.S. We have roughly 1,400 employees that span across the Permian Basin. We have a large secondary corporate office in downtown Midland, and then we have 9 other offices throughout the Permian. So Permian is definitely a place that we call home. So this is an overview of some of our philanthropy. ConocoPhillips is heavily invested in our people, but we're also invested in the communities where we live and work. This is a quick snip of what was shared this past State of Oil and Gas, where our Executive Vice President and our Permian President shared information about ConocoPhillips. So since 2021, which is when we really grew out here and decided Permian was going to be a home base for us, we've invested over $42 million into the Permian Basin, and then a lot of that's gone to the Midland community, as we do have a large office area out here. So some of the things that you're looking at, presenting sponsor of the Midland Rockhounds. We're heavily invested in the Midland Athletic Syndicate. If you haven't been out there, it's a really neat space. It is the heart of entrepreneurial spirit. A group of folks, I serve on that board, full disclosure, got together and said, why are we traveling to all these places and looking at each other? Why aren't we keeping this at home? And raised the funds and built it. So it's a really, really neat spot. We've got a lot of conservation partnerships. It's one of the things that makes ConocoPhillips unique, in that we believe in leaving the land exactly how we found it. And so Quail Ranch is company-owned surface that we operate, and we practice best practices for responsible land stewardship with heavy oil and gas operations integrated into it, to show that they are not separate ideals. They can be the same, one and the same. You can operate responsibly, you can pull production out of the ground, and you can leave the land how you found it. We're also heavily invested in STEM with partnerships in robotics with both MISD, and we've just recently started seed libraries across Odessa. So we're very excited about those. So like I said before, we tried to do this without UTPB and we were not successful. So brought in, the big guns here, Tyler and Stephanie and Brian have really transformed this program. Small businesses are the heart of America. They are keeping us going. They are keeping our communities thriving, and they're keeping our side hustles flowing. Avid Mahjong player, and have really, really enjoyed all the small business that are popping up in the Mahjong space. Anything that ConocoPhillips can do to help keep that entrepreneurial spirit going, we're here for it.
Thank you. Yeah, we were really excited for the opportunity to work with ConocoPhillips on this program. I've been working inside of universities, running incubators and accelerators, and helping to launch companies from kind of both within the university setting and also just within the community setting. And so very passionate about working with small businesses through these programs. And there were some things that I thought would really make an impact with this program. And so, it's an accelerator program. The idea being that we can accelerate the time to launch. So for some of you, you may not have a company yet. And so the idea is, can we accelerate you to launch quicker and then to scale? So some of you might already be in operation, and can we accelerate your ability to grow your business faster? We have a very structured curriculum we'll talk about. There's 2 different tracks that we will separate you into, depending on kind of which stage you're in. The other big thing is that we try to connect you to folks within your community to build your network and provide you with additional services. I think one of the biggest changes we made when we started working with ConocoPhillips on this program was trying to really plant it within the communities in which they operate in order to make the biggest impact. And so just getting into the program structure a little bit, the idea is it's a 6-week program. We meet once a week. And, each week we are going to talk about a different aspect of starting and running and growing a small business. I did mention we are going to split you into separate tracks based on kind of where you're at in your entrepreneurial journey. This really allows us to customize the content and curriculum to provide the most value to you. So the week one, we'll get everybody together. We'll do an introduction. We'll hear about everybody's businesses. There's always a great variety of businesses that come through this program, which is really fantastic to see. ConocoPhillips is really interested in supporting this program to improve the quality of life for the communities in which they operate. And so this isn't a on road to contracting with ConocoPhillips. I want to make sure everybody kind of understands that. It's really an opportunity for ConocoPhillips to just help support economic development and growth within the communities in which they operate. And so any type of business is welcome in this program. It doesn't have to be oil and gas. Oil and gas companies are certainly welcome to participate, and as are any other type of business that you can think of. We've had a real big variety of companies come through the program. And like I said, with these dual tracks, we can really support a lot of people kind of at the stage that they're at. So the two tracks that we have, first off, is the idea stage, right? This is for folks who might just have an idea or a concept or a desire for a business. Maybe you just recognize something that's missing in the community and you say, hey, I want to try to bring this, but I have no idea how to do it. Well, we got you. So we are going to take you through a 4-week program that's based on the Co-Starters curriculum. Co-Starters is a nationwide company that serves small business accelerators, and they provide curriculum in a few different formats. We're going to be using their boot camp format, which is specifically designed as a 4-session program. So the idea being we're going to discover the business, really kind of get in touch with what that business is and what it's all about. We're going to learn how to promote it, how to build it, and eventually how to launch it. And we're going to cover a whole lot of other details in those 4 weeks, but it's really great. It's a very accessible curriculum. It really speaks to almost any industry. It's very flexible in that regard. Some of you might be a little ahead of that, right? And if you've already been in business, maybe you've already had your first sale or your first 100 sales, or you've been in business for a year or two or even more, and you need to tune things up. And that's where we're partnering with Tyler and the SBDC to address like more specific and diving into a little bit more of these topics that are going to be relevant to you. Things like building a business plan, looking at and understanding how to map out your financials, how to secure financing. I mean, that's always a big question for businesses. You might need capital to grow. So where can you go to for that? And then also looking at marketing, because that's really one of the most important things with your business. You got to tell people what you do, and you got to get new customers in the door in order to grow and make an impact. So that week one, we'll kind of, you all are going to determine which track is best for you. We'll help you decide, but really you get to go into whichever track you think is going to be the most valuable for you. And then we'll spend kind of 4 weeks within those subgroups. And in week 6, we'll all come back together and we'll do a live pitch and we'll have a graduation. We'll kind of hear about how everybody has progressed. We're going to expect you to report back on what your goals are over the next 3 to 6 to 12 months. And we're going to try to hold you to those. We want to build this community and we want to have everybody keep each other accountable. And so we love it when we see a community come together and entrepreneurs supporting one another, learning how to partner with one another to each grow their business in a great way. So it's really been a fun program, and we've had a lot of fun working on it. And so we're very excited to work with you all as we get started with the Midland cohort. Stephanie?
Thanks, Brian. All right, so the application process, if you go here to the website, it's the same website where you all found us here for the information session. You're just going to go and click on that Midland link. And it's a simple Microsoft Forms document to fill out. We're just asking about your business, just giving you some information there. And then our plan is to kick things off on July 21st. The program is 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. There is a meal served, so you don't have to worry about food. We'll be downtown at the United Way of Midland. So there's plenty of parking, there's plenty of space. there's a lot of information, y'all, that we cover in those 2 hours. And we love that folks come. We've had really good retention. Sometimes Brian and I are ready to go at 7:30 and folks are still sitting there chatting. So we lead you to it. So it is really, really good information. I have been totally impressed by the commitment that people have. And some folks, it's just that idea. You've had that idea in your head for so long, for so many years, and this is just the opportunity to get it out of your head. So it's a really cool program. You will leave fulfilled. You will feel proud of yourself. Folks get nervous about that week 6 and the pitch. It's nothing to worry about. You're amongst friends at that point. But we love the small town, the small community feel where you're able to challenge each other and talk through your ideas. Next slide. The eligibility requirements, as you'll see, and you'll get that from the application as well. You must have a business or business idea. You must be located in one of those 6 counties. It can be, as Brian said, any type of business in any industry, for profit or nonprofit. And the coolest thing is for any age, high school, all the way up to grandparents. We've had several folks who are looking at their transition out of their career into retirement. We've had anything from a gun cleaning business to cookies to party in a box. We've had some really, really cool ideas. So we just ask that you stick with one idea. As serial entrepreneurs, you may have 20 different business plans or 20 different thoughts. We're going to just work one through the process just so you can see it from start to finish. And then because the curriculum is broad enough, you're able to take, future ideas and put them through the program as well if you want to develop those. So pretty open, pretty easy eligibility requirements. We just ask that you show up and that you participate. The expectations and outcomes: expect to talk, expect to interact, especially on the co-starters side. That's how we get the ideas going. There's not a lot you have to prepare for as far as information. You'll be talking through ideas. You will go home with, we don't call it homework, we call it field work, but there's things that you will be expected to do from week to week just because it's so much information in such a short time. For example, week 1 and week 2, we send you home with some customer interviews, things to help you start working through your idea. You're not going to cover it all in those 2 hours we have with you. There's going to be a lot of things that you'll leave with thoughts that you've got to process. So you just got to have that commitment. So expect to be challenged, expect to learn. And outcomes: we hope you launch your business. We don't expect you to leave with a business plan after 4 weeks. That's really unrealistic. But you should have enough information to keep you moving along. Right. And so like Brian said, those 30, 60, 90-day markers that we asked you to cover in your pitch, we hope to follow up with you in 90 days. We've done it successfully for our Odessa group and for our Carlsbad group. We just finished up Monahan's a few weeks ago, but we like to follow up and we will ask, you said you were going to accomplish these things. What have you done? So your group will hold you accountable. We have a group meeting with each cohort to kind of hold each other and then share information that's going on in the community. So whoever you start this program with, expect for them to be friends near the end. You want to set some targets for growth. It's one thing to just have ideas, but this curriculum, both with Tyler and with Brian and I in the co-starters group, we want you to leave with something tangible. What's my price? What's my break even? Who's my customer? What is it going to take me to launch? What's my distribution? We want you to leave with real questions answered. We can't answer them for you. We can challenge you. We can push you. We can help you to grow, but you're going to have to get it out of the mud. So those ideas that are in the head will definitely come to fruition as long as you push it. All right, that's our formal information. Like I said, we start on July 21st. So if you haven't gone in and put in your application and the registration, go ahead and do that. I'll be reaching out either later this week or early next week with instructions on exactly where to go, where to park. But like I said, it's 5:30 to 7:30 downtown Midland. There is a $25 fee, but that just helps us cover the food. You'll definitely get your money's worth with that. And then like Brian said, week 6, we do the graduation where you do a 2-minute pitch where you share your business idea. You share your 30, 60, 90-day plan. And then we also have community members to come to share what they do and hopefully offer some incentives for you guys. So in the past, we've had lawyers, we've had tax consultants, we've had realtors, just folks who understand what you're going through as well, because they're small businesses as well, but to also give you that insight and input. We try to connect you with those folks you need. If there's something specific, like you're not sure, am I opening an LLC? Am I using an S Corp? we can't always answer those for you, but we know the people who can help you answer those questions. All right, that's all of our formal information. So we will open it up now for questions.
And I'll add just one more thing. If the registration fee is a real hardship for anybody, please reach out. We don't want that to be a bar for anybody to participate in the program. Really, like Stephanie said, that is a modest fee to just go towards some of the food. We're going to feed you every night of the program. You're going to get your money's worth there. But we do find that if you have a little skin in the game, it does get you motivated to come and finish out the session. So that's kind of why that's there. But if it is an issue for anybody, please reach out to us and we can talk with you about how to manage or minimize that impact to you. So with that, I'm going to stop the recording now. I want to thank everybody for coming and tuning in, and we're looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. I'll stop the recording here, and then we'll kind of open it up to questions. If anybody wants to pop on camera or mic, let me get this stopped, and good night.